How to transform shame with self-compassion. Hello everyone, my name is Kendra McLaughlin. I'm a trauma and addiction recovery coach with GILD Coaching, and I am pleased to be here today to give you 5 key steps for transforming shame with self-compassion. You know, we all have experienced shame and guilt. They're 2 emotions that are human emotions, and they're natural and normal. But when you get stuck in a loop of shame and guilt that affects your life and your goals, then that's where people need help. So I'm going to share with you 5 ways or key steps for transforming shame using self-compassion. So the first step is to understand the nature of shame. So understanding that shame is just a normal human emotion is helpful. And understanding that everybody experiences shame in their lives at some point. It's the brain's way of dealing with the threat of disconnection. Something's disconnected, a horrible event has happened, or you're making bad, unhealthy choices in your life, and you're feeling that shame. So understanding that it's just a normal emotion helps with getting through it a little bit easier. The second thing is label shame. Label shame for what it really is. It's just an emotion. It's not who you are. It's not you. You know, it's difficult when you're in that loop of shame to really think of it this way, but it's so helpful. Giving it a name, you know, helps you get some distance between you and the emotion. The third tip is that replace judgment with curiosity. So along with shame and comes judgment, because then we judge ourselves for feeling shame, and then we feel shame about that, and then we judge ourselves. So it's this continuous loop. If you take that judgment and instead of judging yourself, think of it as being curious about yourself, like asking yourself, why am I feeling shame? Why is this continuing to happen? You may need to get some help with a coach or a program of some sort to be able to really identify, you know, why you're continuously feeling shameful about yourself. It's a really hard loop to get out of. Try to hold your experience of shame with curiosity rather than judgment. You know, curiosity about your emotions can help you shift into a more caring and understanding perspective of what you're experiencing. Number 4, acknowledge your inner critic. We all have that inner critic, right? That little voice that sits on your shoulder or is in the back of your mind that's telling you that lots of things, like you're not good enough or that type of thing. And our inner critic loves to amplify shame. So when you're in that shame cycle, the inner critic typically keeps it going. So it's helpful to be aware that your inner critic often likes to do that, and remind your inner critic that you are a work in progress. You can actually talk to them. I do. I talk to my inner critic. Let them know that you are a work in progress and that you're navigating the best you can. And as long as you're taking steps and getting help and moving forward to understanding your shame and being able to feel better about yourself, that's really all you need. Number 5, practice what is helpful, not what is harmful. So this is a really good one. We all speak to ourselves in negative ways sometimes. I catch myself doing it now and then. I'm a lot better at it than I used to be. But if you really listen to how you speak to yourself, it usually tends to be very critical and judgmental. So try to speak to yourself as if you are your own best friend. It's like you're talking to a friend. I wouldn't tell or talk to my friend nearly the way that I talk to myself sometimes. So that speaks volumes. Why are we talking to ourselves that way? Why are we treating ourselves that way? You know, can you ask yourself what actions would be helpful for recovering from this experience rather than actions that might keep it going, you know, perpetuate it? If you're working on correcting an action, can you offer yourself some constructive correction rather than a shaming self-attack. So really being mindful of that and taking that on as something personal and taking responsibility for how you talk to your own self is a great way to start getting out of the shame cycles. Now, there are usually three circles or models. There's a three-circle model that I'm going to show you. And these are emotions that when we're in that cycle of painful shame, it's usually because one of these three things is out of balance. So when you're stuck in that painful cycle of self-criticism, shame, it means that one of these three cycles are out of balance. So we're going to go over those. There's three of them. There's the drive system, there's the soothing system, and the threat system. So these are the three circles of emotional regulation, and we're going to go over that really quickly because if you spend the majority of your time caught in this threat and drive system, this can lead to distress. And let me go over that. So the drive system is when you're working to achieve your goals, you're consuming things, you're accomplishing tasks. So you're in drive mode, you're moving forward, you're busy, you're doing what needs to be done. The threat system's function is it manages threats basically, and it's your protection. It's how you survive. It tells you to seek safety when it feels like you're being threatened. And then we have the soothing system, which is your soothing system, right? It's your rest, it's your safeness, it's your kindness, it's your care, and it tells you to slow down and take it easy. And I can really attest to these three things. A lot of times I'm in drive, and then I may be in drive for too long and I'm not experiencing the soothing system. I'm not taking care of myself, getting rest, taking breaks when I need to. And so the threat system will go off and I'll start maybe getting a headache or feeling really tired. So something was out of balance. And what happens is a lot of times is even when you're in your shame cycle, one of these three things is usually out of balance. Most of the time, people spend most of their time in the drive and threat system. What that can lead to is just imbalanced emotions, and it can lead to distress. It can be important to notice if your soothing system is underdeveloped. So if you're a workaholic, let's say, and you have a lot of things going on that you need to get done and finished, and you're in drive system and you're ignoring the soothing system, you're not getting your rest, you're not treating yourself with kindness and care, you're pushing yourself, then the threat system will be alarmed. And then that also creates shame, because then you start feeling shameful and guilty, and so that's really how the cycle creates itself. So you really want to take a look at these three emotional circles of emotional regulation and see if one of those is out of sync when you're feeling you're in that shame guilt cycle. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video today, and I hope it was useful to you. And if you know someone that could benefit from it, please pass it along, and I'll see you on the next video.